Hey guys, I'm Mike, and these are my friends, Matt, and our special guest, one of our personal best friends and a part of the Dream Team, the Dream Wizard himself, Chris. Or just Chris. I don't know why I put a rolling R on that. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris, but I am mostly known within the Dream Team as the Dream Wizard. And for this episode, I'm bringing out some lore about the literal icon of my channel, the Dream Wizard.
Fantastic. And we're about everything. A show featuring only best friends in this podcast of awkwardness and madness. Each of us takes turns hosting an episode, and whoever hosts holds the power to choose the topic of choice. So, with that said, Jacob is sadly not with us today. He was busy, and he is in our hearts, as always, and he will be missed. Love you, Jacob. Now,
act like this man just fucking died.
We do. We love you, Jacob. I'm sorry. So how are you guys? How you doing?
Well, I'm doing good. I'm honored to actually be part of an episode for once.
Yeah. This is really exciting. I'm really happy that you're here.
So normally Chris is our clip finder of the current episode.
Yep.
All the dumb shit I say and edit.
How are you doing, Matt?
I'm here. I still smell like antifreeze, and yeah.
Yeah, definitely be keeping an eye on your skin. That
no,
stuff's
it's
really
turning
fucking
black.
nasty. Oh no, I have 7 fingers.
I have Mike, some women would prefer that.
Yeah. No kidding. I'm doing okay. I was extremely busy as usual. I was selling burgers and going to work, and I've been up in Michigan working, which was about 2 weeks ago, and this upcoming Monday, because we're recording on Saturday, I'm going back to Michigan again and doing some more work, but otherwise I'm okay. I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
But that's enough about this talking about us as friends.
You sure you don't have another work story?
It's sickening, Matt. It's over now.
You sure you don't have a story?
No, I don't. I don't have any stories.
You sure?
Yep. But anyway,
okay.
So the last time I hosted, there was a secret competition I had set up between Matt and Jacob. Jacob won, but he did not retain his prize, and that went over to Matt. And the prize is of your own character creation being brought to life by using my artistic capabilities. I am one hell of an artist. I will hold this concept art back for now until Matt talks about his character. That's right. Today we will be presenting our character creations, which there is no particular way to present it. You guys can just talk about them however you like. And don't feel pressured or feel like you did a bad job and it's just an experiment for the real discussion, which I will also hold back for now as well. Now, let's begin by starting with Chris and then Matt. Matt, is there something you wanted to say?
Yes. I made your character?
Yes, even if there isn't much of it, you kind of do.
If you say so, I do.
Okay, you're gonna present it no matter how good or bad it is. So
that's what you think. I'll cut it all out later and you'll never know. Oh fuck, you will know because we're editing it together tomorrow.
Yay! So, Chris, would you like to tell us about your character?
Sure thing. Alright, so starting off with an introduction, very little is known about the Dream Wizard himself. For an undetermined amount of time, the Dream Wizard has always observed the Omniverse passively, venturing to places that have ended up capturing his vast imagination in some way, shape, or form. Such places include beings like men who can fly, heroes who swing on a thread, plumbers who do parkour and travel through pipes, adorable pink eldritch aliens who love a good snack, warriors in green who courageously wield a legendary sword every generation, or biomechanical machines capable of wielding elemental powers. Having observed all of these and many more types of beings in between, the Dream Wizard knows much and has seen more when it comes to the stories of these beings he has observed. Eventually, there came a time where watching these beings that existed in the infinite omniverse grew beyond simple observing and learning the stories about them. Throughout his time learning about the beings in the Omniverse, the Dream Wizard learned about their capabilities and how they acted in battle against all manner of threats. The Dream Wizard at one point developed a curiosity as to how some of the beings he had seen would fare against one another in battle. He soon discovered and spent many years seeing battle arrangements brought about by those who shall be referred to as facilitators, those who held similar interests to the Dream Wizard and attempted to answer the same or similar questions according to their own viewpoints and understanding of the Omniverse. After years of seeing many facilitators determine winners of battles based on good, questionable, or bad judgment calls, the Dream Wizard developed an interest in becoming a facilitator himself. It was not long before he met other like-minded beings who sought to determine battle outcomes as honestly as possible, soon forming a group of friends with them. One of the friends made by the Dream Wizard was the mysterious being known as the Shadow Cow. Like him, the Shadow Cow was another facilitator who held great interest in the battles between the inhabitants of the Omniverse. At one point after they met, the Dream Wizard and Shadow Cow worked together on arranging a fight between two beings. This collaborative arrangement brought about a fight between a gold-armored knight who pretended to be a king and a rotund penguin whose own royalty is questionable at best. In the time since, the Dream Wizard and Shadow Cow continue to this day to arrange their own respective battles based on their differing fields of expertise, even sometimes engaging in friendly competition when arranging battles in realms familiar to both of them. Some would say they have a smashing good time doing this.
Oh my gosh. I love this. I love it. You know what okay. I love this so much. This reminds me of like the Beyonder from Marvel with like Secret Wars. I got total Secret War vibes, but in like the best way. And I love how you were able to brilliantly like basically take what you do in real life with your friends, which is making battles and doing them, but now you're applying that into like this character who observes this omniverse and is kind of like playing God in some way by forcing these characters to fight. Love it. Absolutely love it. So fun. And Shadow Cow reference, fucking 10 out of 10.
Glad you like it. I had to put that in there because it was just too good not to.
I really hope Trevor listens to one of these one day, and I hope it's this one because we've referenced Trevor quite a few times.
His rock, milk,
Yep.
Now the cow himself.
Oh yeah.
Or is it herself? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
What that
We'll
was
never
an
know.
utter failure. It's great.
Oh my gosh.
Fuck, I got knee slappers. Help me.
That was so good, Chris.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Fucking love it.
I don't even want to
It
present
was
now
so
because
fucking
this is
beautiful.
so fucking lackluster. No. I don't wanna.
Do it anyway.
I don't wanna.
Do it anyway.
No. No, I don't wanna.
You got this, Matt. We
Do
believe
it.
it.
No, I don't believe in
You can
myself.
do
That's
it!
the fucking problem.
You can do it! Do it!
You can do it, Matt. No, I fucking can't.
Get your adrenaline going, brother. Do it!
If to get my
Get
adrenaline
pumped.
pumping, I have to go 100 miles down a back road real quick. Oh,
Get
wait,
your testosterone up.
did you just assume my gender?
Yeah, maybe.
Bro, like, I can't compete with that shit.
It doesn't matter. Just do it.
No, I don't wanna. You can't make me.
All right, I have no choice then. I have to send you your character art, which I worked so fucking hard on. Are you ready?
No, I'm
You're gonna
not.
see this?
Matt, you are absolutely going to love this.
You're gonna fucking love
Oh,
this.
Chris
I
already
worked on
knows what is
all
this
day.
bullshit.
Here we go. This is what I worked on today.
Definitely not a stick figure, I can tell you that.
There it is. There's your character. What you give me details about?
Definitely gonna have to flesh this bitch out more later for Mike.
Future Matt, please put this on screen. Please.
Man.
Future Matt, the viewers are gonna want to see this.
Come on, Future Matt.
Fuck. Man.
Future Matt is going to want to. Present Matt, not so much.
No, I'm still gonna put it in.
Oh my god. There it is, though. Now can you talk about it?
Nope.
Now that you're seeing it?
Nope.
You want to talk about what kind of dimension she comes from? It's like abstract. She comes from she comes from an abstract-like dimension. The way she was created was there was a god with a paintbrush, and he just kind of whipped his paintbrush around. And there it was. She was born. Her name was Margaret. She was loved by many. Margaret Bababusha. That was her name. Margaret Bababusha.
I was going to say
What do you think of
Bellows because she
Margaret
likes being
Bababusha?
on bottom, but you know.
Oh, come on, man. What do you think of Margaret Bababusha?
I can't fucking stop. Help me. My face is fucking frozen.
Look at her nose. Isn't it hypnotizing? Look
Is
at
that
how
Miss
she
Piggy?
stares into your soul. Yeah, it's a slutty Miss Piggy. It's like a fucking methed up Miss Piggy. That's exactly what it is.
There we
Even
go.
the
That's my
boobs are kinda
character.
like Miss
Methed up Miss Piggy, half the way, twice the sass.
I did not intend to make this look like Miss Piggy, but even the boobs are like Miss Piggy's boobs. This looks like Miss Piggy.
I fucking can't, sir. I just can't.
Oh, yeah. Give me back my meth.
Oh,
We're
God.
not that far in the episode, we've already that.
Can't stop laughing. Help me.
Look at her fucking flat heels.
No, Mike. Only thing I wanted was the street racing mechanic waifu. I got slutty
Look
Miss
at-
Piggy instead.
Hey, you wanted that beautiful brunette hair. Look at that beautiful brunette
That is true.
hair.
I did. Because I cannot have any
Yes.
more redheads.
Green
I just
eyes.
got out of RA.
You said green eyes, and you said that she was happy when at school, but she was something else to be reckoned with outside of school. Right?
Mike. That didn't mean she worked the fucking corner.
But look at her smile. See, she's got a smile, but one eye is twitching. See, there's just something about her.
Mike,
that's
she's
a
having an
little off.
aneurysm.
She looks normal, but she's got the little twitch in her eyeball. It's indicating.
No, Mike, like I said, I wanted a street racing mechanic high school waifu, and I get slutty Miss Piggy.
I worked so hard on this, Matt. What you put me down for, man? Dude, her boob looks like it's merged with her chest and her shoulder.
They're asymmetric. It's fine. One's bigger than the other.
Aw. Just a little bit of imperfection is okay. Look at the hips, and then look how the legs transition.
Well, you did fuck up on one thing.
Oh,
Her legs are kind of short.
I tried to make them as long as I could, but look at the rest of her dress. Oh my god.
My god. Man.
Shit. So that's it. So that's everything about your character.
That I have
Margaret
right now? It's not even
Fuck, I
Margaret,
forgot
you
her name.
stupid fuck.
Margaret Barnershirt or something like that. I can't fucking remember her name now.
Margaret Borkenstein.
Margaret
Yeah,
Corporal Borkenstein the Fourth.
It's your wife. Hey, It's your wife.
No, dumbass, it's
Corporal
Blair.
Forkin-
You son of a bitch. Mike, calm down. Get a drink. We don't want to repeat it last time.
I was so anxious to show this to you. Oh, cheese and rice. It was fucking worth it. All right. Is that everything about Margaret?
It's
Or
Blair,
whatever
you
her name
stupid
is?
fuck.
It's Larry.
Listen here.
Larry.
I'm going to put it on screen for the audience. You son of a bitch.
Hold on, let me look at the name real quick. I think I screenshotted this.
It's in the fucking chat, you goofy fuck.
Oh, Blair. It's Blair Kimagawa.
You
Oh shit,
phony
she's
go-
supposed to be Japanese.
No, she's supposed to be
I should've made her
American, you
eye-
stupid fuck.
Well, Kimagawa doesn't sound fucking American to me.
It's part of her backstory, trust me,
Where?
okay? I haven't got around to it yet. Leave me alone.
I'm American, and what's your last name? Kimagawa.
Bitch could have been married. You know?
Yeah, to a Japanese man.
Yeah. Or woman, you don't know.
Yeah. Nationality, American with a Japanese last name. Oh my god. Oh shit.
That's-
She's supposed to. You know what? We can say that she's 7'4", and that'll make her look taller.
She's a fucking Amazonian giant.
Oh wait, she's supposed to be 5'9". She's only an inch taller than me.
Yeah. Don't want to make anything unrealistic. Like
Yeah.
Dan versus Sigrid.
Oh, she looks. This looks okay to me. This is very realistic.
Well,
That's probably the most realistic art I've ever made.
Everyone flashes back to the previous video. Bullshit.
Oh, okay.
Take it away,
Oh.
Mike. Please, before we
Okay.
fucking laugh for another 15 minutes
Alright.
straight.
Okay, Margaret, or whatever your name is, you will be missed. Okay. Now I'm going to send a picture of me, which I have. Let me send this to. Crap. Hold on. I have so much stuff on here. This might take just a little
this is what
bit.
you get for talking shit.
I know. It was so worth it, though. So worth it. Oh my god. Oh, come on, where is it? There it is. So, this character we're going to be talking about is named Gearwolf, and
I
his
would've
real
thought
name
Fluffy.
is Fluffy, is Vargura Azul. Now, this art, this is actually art from Warcraft. I actually took this and drew over it, so for anybody who sees it, it does look familiar. I just needed something to work off of real quick. But this is the only Gearwolf drawing that I have right now. I do need to just make an original one soon. But this is pretty much what he looks like officially. And he was born on Jericho 12. Not much is known about the early years of Vargura Azul. However, he inherited 24 decades of biology that was designed for war. Vargur, however, was not just some normal troop, or even the highest or even the or even the highest ranking known in the military. Jeez, I can't talk. He was above it. A league so high that it's classified, and entering it means having all history of yourself removed. This was the Maw. Not the Mall, the Maw. Vargur was the best. He had served 35 years and was even married. After his long reign and expecting a child with his wife, he decided to retire and finally come home to a secluded location provided by the Maw for his amazing service. However, while heading home, he was abducted and taken to a secret organization that is oddly similar to Marvel's Weapon X. Little did they know that what they had in their possession was perhaps the greatest soldier in the whole universe. Their goal was to take the legendary myth known as the Nemean Wolf, the most dangerous and aggressive creature in the universe, and find a way to control it. The wolves are so aggressive that they cannot be tamed or controlled in any way. They had tried numerous runnings and tests, but nothing worked. Their next and last step was to somehow use human subjects and try to find some way to turn them into more tameable Nemean wolves, if not retain the human aspect. Varger was one of the many test subjects. It was failure after failure until Varger had stepped up. On that fateful night, he transformed and lost all control. The transformation was a success, but taming the beast was not. Varger broke free and killed everyone in the facility. Then he made it to the public and violently killed 692 innocent people. After the massacre, a part of him was able to regain consciousness and control. When he saw the bloodshed, he had no choice but to run and hide. Varger was being hunted by both the organization and justice for his horrible act. Varger had to then go to the only person he could trust, who is unnamed, an old lifetime friend from the mall. No one else could be trusted or be capable enough to help Varger. Plus, it was all he knew. His friend at first thought it was just a monster, but the legendary Nemean wolf, until he finally realized it was his friend Varger. Varger, begging for help, had to force him to make a decision which would mean abandoning the mall and also going against justice. He takes the risk and helps Varger. Caged and put through numerous tests and exercises, was finding a way to restrain the inner beast. The animal instincts of the most dangerous creature in the universe. Having raw meat on the floor on the far other end of the cage and being shocked if he dared to even step towards it. It was these kinds of methods that would hopefully help Varger restrain the beast he had become. After finally having some kind of control, he wanted revenge. This changed his whole life. It meant he could be with his family. He was robbed. The organization, on the other hand, had no choice but to hire the best hunter possible to track down and capture Varger, the greatest hunter and one of the most feared men in the universe, Axel. They thought he was hunting for the thrill, but Axel was a man of honor and peace and only hunted if necessary. But taking him to the crime scene was enough. And hearing that it was to capture a Nemean wolf had only stirred the fire inside of him more. Something ignited that made Axel hateful. So much so that he would secretly try to kill Varger. After many intense events, Varger and Axel finally came face to face. The battle was intense, but Varger eventually came out on top. He was no longer a man or a Nemean wolf. He was Deerwolf, and this journey would only keep continuing for years and years.
Dun, dun, dun.
I
sorry,
did
I
not
had
read
to.
that. I did not read that too well because, man, my mind was like racing from the laughter.
You did
But,
good enough. That's what matters.
Yeah, so he is an anti-hero. He's a male, obviously. His height is 6'6". His weight is 325 pounds. From the start of the story, he's 41, but towards the end of the story, he's 63 years old. His eye color is green, his hair color is blue, and he doesn't have a particular occupation so far. In terms of powers and abilities, he has quite a shit ton, and he does evolve as the series goes on. So here we go. He has super strength, super speed and agility, super dexterity, and human resilience, super animal senses, animal empathy, which allows him to communicate with other animals, has very sharp claws and fangs, is a firearms master, a weapons master, an extreme martial artist, an advanced scout, a master spy, and a master assassin. As a Nemean wolf, he also possesses something called Nemean wolf vision. He has X-ray vision, thermal vision, and can see in total darkness, and even adjust to lights, no matter how bright. So he can basically adjust to lights with his vision. Now, later on in the story, he gains something called shadow armor, but we don't know how he acquires this. That's the red armor that you see, and it has like the purple gems on the cuffs of his armor. And with the shadow armor, he is able to create shadow clones. He has shadow teleportation. He can create shadow traps, shadow barriers. He can summon a shadow explosive pulse off of his body. He can manifest weapons using shadow. And this is a part of his overall biology as a Nemean wolf. With every victory or a near-death experience, he becomes stronger. And that is inspired by the Warhammer orcs, because that's how they work on getting stronger as well. And I thought that'd be a really cool addition to add to Gearwolf. So, and yeah, that's Gearwolf.
I was going to get Solomon Grundy or Doomsday for that strength boost inspiration.
Oh yeah. Not bad. Not a bad guess, my man. Gearwolf is designed to be the secondary protagonist of the Inner Beastverse. So it starts with Armus, which actually takes place far after Gearwolf's story. So Gearwolf serves as a prequel to Armus. So yeah, that's basically Gearwolf. And we haven't had too much development on him because we're focusing more on Armus, but that's pretty much it so far. Some things might change, whether it be major or just a little bit, but that's my character creation for this episode. So now that we have discussed our characters in depth and shared our creative capabilities, we can now use this as a way to ask a very important question. Why is nothing original anymore? Not to say your guys' stuff wasn't great. I fucking loved it. It was fucking amazing.
You know
especially Matt's. Actually, Chris, is there anything else that you want to talk about character creation wise? Or anything? Or I know that kind of transitioned real quick, but I didn't know if there was anything else that you wanted to talk about with Gearwolf or your character or
yeah, this one's not specific to Dreamwizard, but this is just more for character creation in general. Like sometimes it's like so easy, like especially if you're building like a whole fucking world of characters. It's so easy to get caught up in just like making like as many as you think are needed in that world, or you want to be like even the smallest cogs in the greater machine. Yeah. Like, and that sometimes kind of either slows down your development of the story itself, or you just kind of stuck on where you want to be. Like essentially, like writer's block, which I'm sure many an author has.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then there's also leaving projects unfinished or like trying to do multiple at once. I mean, I've got like two different universes of characters that I've shared with you in the past.
Mm-hmm. Great characters, really good characters. Love them.
But yeah, I think that was all I had before we go on to the originality thing.
Yeah, I got. I'm not gonna share the characters here, but Chris has some fucking awesome characters, and I really hope that becomes a legit comic series because that shit is fucking legit, and he's really fucking creative. So that's definitely something that Chris and I really share a lot in common. And yeah, I'm just thankful that you're in this episode just to present some of your creativity capabilities, and it was very entertaining. So was Matt's. So, but again, your guys' stuff was great, right? Like it was a lot of fun, and I hope mine was at least good and decent too. I wanted to take a character that I hadn't really developed yet, but I had an idea for, and I just kind of wanted to present him here. But I wanted to do this as an experiment to show people just how hard it is to create an original thing as best as possible and why it's just not easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a series of questions, which each of us will be answering as honestly as possible. So here's the first question. Now, we obviously have tons of franchises and characters that we have grown up with, and they themselves also had to be created from scratch. However, where people had these popular iconic treasures, we're also given a mix of new material to add to our library of amazing content. This included something like Star Wars, which was never seen before at that time. Not to say it's still not being done, but why do you think we don't see as many new big original creations anymore? And if we do get them, why don't they hit us as hard? So I'm going to start with you, Chris.
Okay, all right, so my answer to this question, new and groundbreaking stuff can only be considered as such for so long, even when you do find ways to evolve a franchise that becomes fortunate enough to last for decades. New stuff made won't hit as hard for a multitude of factors. This could be anything from nostalgia for something older that brought a lot of fun memories, people making comparisons to something from history, or tropes and plot devices they've seen a million times before in other works. Especially in this day and age where you can look up anything about any franchise you want, it's all too easy to make comparisons to what came before or to something that also exists at the same time as the new creative work. Hell, even anything made now that's considered quote-unquote new will eventually be considered nostalgic by the generation who grew up with that work, or as old by future generations who aren't born yet or around to appreciate the new creative work in its prime.
Yeah. I completely agree with you there. And that's
How
it.
the fuck am I supposed to top that?
Just say how you feel. How do you feel?
I feel
about
fucking confused. How about you?
I'm sorry.
Shit.
Future Matt, I'm so sorry that you have to deal with this. I'm sorry. And present Matt,
Future Matt's gonna be pissed.
And I'm sorry, present Matt, for this. I did not know this was going to be that hard for you, my man. I'm so sorry.
My brain melted already.
It's already. Just say how you feel.
I already told you,
this.
I feel fucking confused.
And that's his answer, ladies and gentlemen. He's fucking confused. So why do you think why do you think we don't see as many new big original creations anymore? And if we do get them, why don't they hit us as hard? Why do you think that?
I guess my reasoning would be that a lot of original creations aren't technically original. What they're taking shit from the past and other things from even present and just mashing it together and saying, hey, this is new.
Okay. That's a good answer.
That's a really good answer. That a lot nowadays.
Yep. I completely
ranging
agree with
anywhere
you.
From movies to video games to anime. It's all the same things, just that character's a bit different. That dude got some spiky looking hair.
Oh fuck! You and I almost have like the same answer in mind now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be talking about that here in just a little bit. Yeah,
it's just there's no true originality anymore. Once an idea is done, someone's going to take that idea, twist it a full 180 degrees like a key, and then say it's original.
Yep. Yeah, those are really good points. That's a good answer, my man. See, you could do it. Gosh, I told
Mike,
you.
Remember the last time you did this full 2.5 minute segment?
Oh, he did it, Chris. Give him a round of applause, man. Yeah. Good job, Matt. All right. So here's what I think. So since most of everything we get now is based on something everyone has a connection to, I think it forces us to crave variety, whereas creators, whether they are in comics, games, or movies, like you said, can't help but draw from other material like they themselves are attached to, right? So, as you stated, which most of them are doing the wrong way. This hold on. That's why something we have never seen before doesn't feel as original as something never done before. Because it's not about whether we have seen something, it's more about seeing something never done. And that's why these huge franchises are as big as they are, because they impact the world overall. Look at Avatar. It only has one fucking movie, and people still talk about it. But in reality, it's just a Smurf version of fucking Pocahontas. That's all it is. I'm just saying. And yes, that's a reference to South Park because they literally made fun of Avatar by using Smurfs.
Brilliant right there, my friend.
Yeah. It's way overrated. I think Avatar is so overrated. But I guess it was so groundbreaking for whatever the fuck it did that that's why it's more fondly remembered by everyone.
If I am correct, the Avatar was like one of the first fully or almost fully CGI movies at the time.
That's probably what it was. Yeah, that's probably what
Legit,
it was.
98% CGI.
Jesus. And this is why I prefer something not related to games or movies. Because when it comes to something on page, it forces you to focus on other things like world and character. And if it astonishes me to look at it and say something like, wow, that stands out, it's on its own and being original, then I'm going to praise the fuck out of it more than anything on screen. I'm just going to say that. And that's why I think nothing feels like it hits the audience or us like it used to, because we have advanced so far and so fucking fast that there's nothing to wow us. So now the only way to wow is to be original and groundbreaking on screen, like a book is with readers. And it's just not easy to do either, because like I said, it's just so hard to not draw from other source materials, or like you said, my bad, that we are fond of, and sometimes too much of one thing. But I'll talk about that in just a little bit when we move on to the next question. And that's how I feel about answer one. So is there anything else that you guys want to add to this, or?
Not for me.
Not for you. I'm good.
All right. We're moving on to question two. So, what do you think it takes now in a world full of groundbreaking and original creation to make something new and original stand out? What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, touching on what both of you said before, my answer to this was to make your work stand out. My thought is to take inspiration from wherever you can. When you have this inspiration, I believe the next step is to take it in whichever direction you think works best for the story. If you want to go the same traditional arcs as other works that influence your own, that's one way this inspiration can be taken. Or if you want to put your own spin on a plot device that has been done before, you have to make sure it's done intelligently so as not to piss off the reader / viewer or turn them off from the work. Because I have seen a lot of shows and movies try to do the whole thing of quote unquote subvert expectations, and it never works out for them because people just complain about the awful writing it took to get to that point, because there's like no prior build up to that bad attempt at a twist. I mean, just look at just to give a couple examples, like the final episode or final episodes of Game of Thrones or the Star Wars sequels with their way they horribly assassinated Luke Skywalker as a character, all in the name of subverting expectations. Like that was like the justification they tried to give to that, and it didn't fucking work.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree. This one might be a little trickier, Matt. Is there anything you want to say about this?
You see, Chris forgot one major detail about trying to create original things. Sex sells. A common marketing tactic. You add tits, it sells instantly. See, Mike thinks I'm kidding.
Stories back. That's like a.
It is true. I just didn't see it coming.
What is my nickname?
Matt's mind process going into this question. Boobs and titties. That's my answer. Boobs and titties.
It's true though, if you think about it. Okay, that's why the early to late 2000s had a lot of sexual marketing because it sold product.
Oh my god! And every female main protagonist had to be super hot.
I mean,
wearing
that's still
tight
like that to this
leather
day.
and yeah, not as bad though. I think.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it used to be.
Early 2000s
but
and 90s, they were so bad about it.
And-
Jeez.
that's why also ecchi is like one of the most popular anime genres. It's not just the fact of there's a lot of them. It's just it sells. You can make a bunch of merchandise out of it and just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's why like in a lot of movies and stuff, like they always like usually like they like if they try to save a failing plot, they throw in, oh hey, let's have a sex scene or two with these characters.
Right. Let's fill that 5-minute blank real quick.
Yeah.
Well, I think a sex scene can serve a purpose as long as there's a reason for it.
So you have to build up to it. You can't just slap it in.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want it to be like fucking the main characters from Jurassic World. Yeah, and where they're just like they act like they got a thing, but they really don't, and the lead up to their relationship just feels like empty. Hate that shit. I fucking hate that shit. I will say, writing a bit, it is really hard to write romance. I suck at romance.
Yeah, I've never even like attempted to do it. Like even if some stories I've written with one of my own fictional works. I mean I've alluded to like the main character and his wife doing it and stuff. Like I allude to them like about to, but then I don't actually like follow through with like writing out that whole sequence because I mean, one, I think that's a waste of my talent, and two, I mean it's enough to understand like
am I going to read your book and all of a sudden there's going to be a part that says, and thus my two protagonists after a long gruesome battle has snuck into the bathroom real quick and then came out. No one knows what happened.
No, in actuality what he does is he makes that specific page a full spread, and it's just them holding hands, washing their hands.
Washing their hands? No one knows what happened.
No. Okay,
in
off
the bathroom.
topic. Real quick, I've been wondering why I'm sitting in my chair and my ass hurts. I apparently have metal clips from when I did the job of my brother's fiance's car still in my back pocket. That fucking hurts.
Oh. You know what? My wallet hurts my ass.
Yeah.
That's because you have too much money in it.
Well, it's not just that. My ass is flat.
So like is mine. You gotta.
God, it's so bad. Oh.
Okay, but back on topic. I'm sorry.
Is it my turn?
Is it?
Okay. So, Matt, do you remember Mr. Howell?
Yes, I do. He is a wonderful teacher, and I miss him very dearly.
I fucking love Mr. Howell, and I asked him something about writing a good story a long time ago. I can't exactly remember what I asked, and this is what he told me. He told me that to create a great story, you have to draw inspiration from numerous sources, and the more the better. He said the more the better. Now, this is important because what happens when you draw ideas from too many sources is that it ends up being its own entity of being a huge mix of content all thrown together. So we're talking like a lot of sources. We're not talking like a few because what happens when you draw from just a few leads to just making worse overall content, as it just feels like a ripoff, or a repeat. So it was very sound advice at the time. But what I found out recently while working on Armus is that creating something also has to have some kind of meaning if you really want to stand out and be different. And I think that's why I fell in love with Infinity War from Marvel, because Thanos' motivation for me was so relatable about the whole like overpopulation and we're running out of like materials and all this stuff. I completely related to that, and it made me care more, and I became more attached to it. Something else I want to point is to a video game. And here I was talking about and how I'm more into the books because of blah, blah, blah. But seriously, is to a video game called Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Very basic. The journey is basic, and it's a good game. But the end has so much weight with it, with its message and relatability, that it still sticks with me. So I think what it comes down to is moving on from cliches that were once groundbreaking, like Darth Vader saying, "Luke, I am your daddy," and now trying to focus on things that perhaps might hold a lot more weight and relatability. That's what I think.
First off, did it just turn Darth Vader into a pimp?
No, I turn him into that kid from the fourth Shrek movie. Who goes, "I love you, daddy."
I thought you
roar.
turned him into a fusion with Palpatine for a second.
I am your daddy. Join the dark side, and I will be your daddy. That's how he would say. He would drag out daddy, just like daddy.
That should be a fusion battle idea for you. Okay, no.
Oh my god. It'd be so good to take the kid from Shrek who goes, "Make him roar," and fuse him with Palpatine. Go, daddy. Bring him to me, daddy.
What the f have I done?
Emperor Shrek kid versus I don't fucking know.
We'll figure something out. Are you guys ready? Or is there anything you want to add to my answer or anything?
I'm good. I don't know about Chris.
I'm good.
All right. Keep my eye on you guys. All right. Number 3. So seeing as it takes someone to create something, do you think it's too risky to branch off further on an original idea or even start a new one with the pressure of having to make something just as good, if not better, than your last original creation or story? And if not, or if so, what happens?
Whew.
What do you think, Chris?
All right. Well, the answer I had was taking risks with creating something is common, whether you're adding onto an existing franchise or making something new. Even if you achieve success with the first part of your original story, the pressure is inevitably going to be there to make part 2 and subsequent entries as good, if not better. While on one hand, that could be discouraging for some. On the other hand, that could be a powerful motivator to follow through with continuing to develop creative work.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. That's a really, really good answer. Matty Poo, what do you think, my man?
Fuckity fuck. Repeat the question, please.
Hey. When I do this again, you need to fast forward it. It'd be really fucking funny. So, seeing as it takes someone to create something, do you think it's too risky to branch off further on an original idea or even start a new one with the pressure of having to make something just as good, if not better, than your last story? And if not, or if so, what happens?
All right. Since no one's brought it up, and I'm the only true nerd here, we're going to use D&D as an example for this one.
Ooh, good idea.
Because the thing about D&D is you get your story, you get your plot, but it's always hard to follow up after that first arc is done. Because this is a completely different realm. The players truly decide what's actually going to happen, not the DM. The DM can lay down the brickwork, but the characters can say, fuck your wall, blow it up, and go fight a dragon that they're like 14 levels under that they want to fight. And it can completely shift your story. It works just like that with other stories. Like, best way to put it would be shit. I forgot. There was a specific example I had where the fans just completely shifted everything around because they bitched about the previous thing. And
take your time.
Yeah, you ain't got time. Okay, not here. Wasn't here. But no, like, because there's multiple variables to that question. Like you said, like with God of War, no, they had to top the original. Then they had the top two. Then they had to somehow top three, fell short, and then 2018 came out and just like blew everyone's fucking mind.
Yeah,
they took such an extreme risk, and it paid off.
The thing I love about what God of War is doing right now, I was telling you, and I think I told Chris this earlier, is that God of War, it started with Greek mythology, but what it did was it had to rely on creating a character completely from scratch, which that alone was a task when they started. So many pieces of concept art. They had so many ideas for this character. He was completely different when they started. And what they came up with was something just so original, so unique. I would say he's just about up there as iconic as Mario and Link, all those characters. Just such an amazing original character. That design, just the white skin and the red marks, is just so original and so recognizable, so simple. And I think they did decent following up from game one. I think what the originals succeed at best is telling a better backstory than a current story. And I think what happened was that people got burnt out on the current journey of the stories in the games because it was more about the gameplay aspect than it was the story, and it relied more on backstory to tell a better story.
Right.
So what they did was that they said, you know what? It doesn't end here. It doesn't end with the end of the world, because now we're going to expand the mythos, right, by using other mythologies, which David Jaffe had planned. He had planned on using Egyptian mythology, which is what
comics are about, right?
I forgot his name at the moment, but he directed God of War 2 and he directed 2018.
Corey.
But
Balrog.
Yeah. Corey Barlog. He was going to start with Egyptian mythology, but it ended up in Norse, probably because it's the second most recognizable. And what they're doing is they're expanding. And not only expanding, but they're continuing the story of this character who doesn't belong in any of these mythologies. So when you throw him into any mythology, including Greece where he was born from, you immediately turn the tables by making him this trump card that changes their mythology. And that, to me, makes it more interesting and original. And I think that's why people, including myself, even though I've kind of shit on the gameplay and the RPG aspects in the one podcast episode, it was a bonus, I fucking love the story and I love the direction they're going, and I'm so looking forward to what they're going to do in Ragnarok, because you know what, if a story gets me so hyped that I want to know what the fuck happens next, because I have some kind of idea on the mythology alone and how the original story is going to go, But now you got fucking Kratos who's changed everything. So now there's a lot of different stuff. And it's just really cool. So
Look.
yeah. Yeah. I would also say the last original thing I would say I saw, and it just fucking blew my mind, was Primal, which is easily my favorite show. It recently ended with season 2, and I was already excited about it, and it kind of gave me this vibe of like old school classic sci-fi fantasy, kind of like Thundar the Barbarian, where it's like a mix of fantasy and sci-fi to some degree. And this has a really cool like prehistoric fantasy setting, and it's just so cool. I mean, of course, we've seen stuff like that to some degree, but Primal is absolutely legit in its originality. I'm sorry, Matt, if I took up your time, my man.
Just fucking overtake.
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna ask one last question after this about like what's the last original thing you've seen, but you brought up God of War, and I just got into it, just out of instinct. But is there anything else you want to say, Matt?
I'm trying to get back to my original thought about.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You know what?
I'm so bad.
You know what?
that.
Even worse for podcasts, because you have to each episode you take the risk trying to one up the last,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it sucks every time. Future man gets pissed.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We just get out of the mindset that we're even recording, you know, and just be cool and talk as friends, man.
I'm going to take pictures for the viewers. As Mike says this, I'm looking at the fucking OBS screen, the Discord chat with the pictures, my phone off to the side. I constantly know I'm recording.
Yeah, I understand that, but the thing you got to do with these podcasts is like you just gotta get out of some kind of mindset. Just so you're not so tense and worried about everything, you know.
See, but here's the thing, though. It's like it's hard to do because, like I said, the screen's in front of me. I can't unsee that. Even if I were to turn off the monitor, it goes to the other monitor.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to turn off your monitor. You just, do your thing.
I was going to mount my microphone to my back and swing it in front of me and turn around.
You're okay, man. You're okay. Do you want me to answer this, or?
I think you gave your spiel.
I do have an answer for this question, though. I didn't exactly answer the question.
Then answer the question.
Okay. So when you look at such amazing visionary minds, you tend to notice that they can either keep surprising us with amazing stuff, or they go downhill. And the most likely reason why this happens is because they are pressured into continuing to make more amazing things. Whether it's continuing your already existing creation as a cash grab, or to make something completely new, and everyone has these high expectations, which means there is tons of pressure and stress. I will say that while I haven't even released my first comic to start off Inner Beast comics, I have come to realize that my creation Gearwolf is not going to ever surpass or even be on par with my greatest creation, which is Armus. Hell, some people just do one project and never do another one again because it's just too much to live up to. So with that in mind, I don't even bother to make Gearwolf to surpass Armus, but rather expand on the lore in the universe. And that's all we can do for now. And sadly, that's all most people can do anymore, I think. And that's my answer. So, is there anything you guys want to add to that or anything? I'm a fucking broken record.
What I wanted to add was like going back to the last original thing you saw question. I have after a bit of thinking, I have remembered something that I was watching on YouTube for the past year. I don't know if you guys have heard of a YouTuber named Alex Bale, but
No, I haven't.
yeah,
Wait. I might have?
if you've heard of like the SpongeBob conspiracy
Yep.
theory video,
Yep.
That's who I'm talking about. Like he makes these like insane, like wild yet entertaining theories about SpongeBob, about like a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and then but he adds his own special flair to it because
There he is.
doing
Okay.
that he was a horror filmmaker, and he's kind of combined the two in a unique way where like between the segments of his SpongeBob theories he's building this whole alternate reality game story about this creature called the Muse, and like building up a very creepy and very unique backstory for that monster or monsters, and it's actually pretty amazing stuff. If you guys get a chance, definitely check him out.
I mean, you're talking to a man that's a whore, like a whore for Night Mind, so I
Yeah.
definitely will.
Is he the guy with like the yellow sweater?
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking here. Nice. Okay, I'll have to check this out for sure.
Yeah, I would recommend starting from the very first SpongeBob theory video and then going from there, because so you can see how this lore builds up. And he's even got like other channels with like some friends and other people involved in building this lore about the Muse and such involved as well. It's pretty fascinating stuff.
Is it called the SpongeBob Conspiracy was created by an AI? Is that the one or?
Well, yeah, well, he did make that, but that's like not to be considered a main part of like the primary conspiracy series.
Okay.
That one, that AI thing was more of an April Fool's thing he did.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you guys one last question, which I didn't write, and that was, what is the last like original thing that you saw and you were just like, man, I've never seen anything like that. And I've already answered with Primal. Like I would say that's the last original amazing thing that I saw, and it just fucking blew my mind. And so, is there anything that you guys have seen personally that you were just like, whoa?
Oh.
Matt through this whole episode. Fuck.
Let's not harmonize the again.
Fuck.
Oh god, that's it. Fuck.
I'm so sorry, Matt.
Fuck.
He's seen so much stuff he doesn't know.
You're right. I've seen a lot of shit.
Yeah, mine would be just Alex Bale's stuff with the Muse ARG, I guess you would call that, because like I mean I'm not one who's usually
don't feed the Muse. I think I see it. SpongeBob Conspiracy 1 through 8. Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
That's just the Muse footage.
You know what? I do have one thing that did blow my mind back in the day. It doesn't hold up as much as it did now, as it does now. That'd be Marble Hornets. That is a damn good series. Very well executed. You would literally have a better time listening to someone explain each season.
Oh yeah,
because there's like 3 different channels for it. Twitter posts. There's a lot of shit going on. Or the Sun Vanished. Sun Vanished was a really damn good one too.
Okay.
God, now I'm just nerding out about ARGs. What the fuck, Chris? Look what you caused. Then there's Catastrophe Crow.
Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for presenting your character creations, especially Matt, man.
He's talking so much smack.
Yeah, Matt, quit fucking bragging about it, man. Cheese and rice. What's wrong with you?
Cheese and rice counter +1.
It's gonna get to your head, man. Don't do that.
Which head? I have 3.
Well, all of them. God. And Chris, amazing stuff. And thank you guys so much for talking about just like the topic of originality and stuff like that. So thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to ding dong that notification bell so you don't miss anything. And don't forget to click that subscribe button, maybe comment, and we'll see you in the next episode. See ya.
Bye.
Hey guys.